Financial reporting in Dynamics 365. We will now see how we can generate a trial balance in Dynamics 365. So we will navigate into General Ledger module, and under Enquiries and Reports, we have trial balance. So when we click on trial balance, we can see that we can set different parameters before we generate a trial balance. The first is the date range. We can give the from date and due date to which we want to generate a trial balance. If we do not want to do this manually, we can get into the date interval option, which will list the different periods for which we can generate the trial balance. For example, if I choose current period, then I can see that the date changes from 1st of September to 30th of September, which is the current month. So if I change the date interval to current year, then I can see that the date range changes from 1st of January 2017 to 31st of December 2017. So once we set the date range, so next is the data to include. So I will mention the financial dimension set for which I want a trial balance to be generated. For example, if I want a trial balance which shows only the main account details, then I will choose main account. If I want trial balance to include details such as business unit, department, cost center, I can accordingly choose the option from the list down and generate a trial balance for the particular dimension set. I will choose a main account dimension set, and the posting layer will give us the values for which we want to generate a trial balance. For example, if their current values or their tax values. So if you want the transactions relating to tax purposes to get displayed, then I can choose the tax posting layer. So then we choose the calculate balances to generate a trial balance. So it will give us an updated balance for all the posted entries based on main accounts. So we can see that the opening balance, the debit, the credit, and the closing balance get displayed. So we have other options in the trial balance form, which are at the top. We have an accounting source explorer and all transaction option. So when we choose a particular main account and we click on accounting source explorer, so it gives us the details of all the source transactions which are behind the main account. So it gives us the list of ledger entries in the particular main account. So it gives us the journal number, the date, the accounting description, the currency, the amount and transaction. And if I go further into voucher transaction, then it gives us details about the particular voucher. When I go back, I can see that I have an option to generate only the financial year transaction. So when I click on the financial year transaction, it lists transaction only with regards to the current year for which we're generating the trial balance. By currency, if a particular main account has transactions involving multiple currency, then when I click by currency, it gives me the amount of transaction which relate to a particular currency. For example, this ledger balance has an INR currency. So this is the transaction amount, and this is the converted amount in our functional currency or the reporting currency. So under columns to display, we can see that there are many options which I can choose, and I can include columns which I want to get displayed when a trial balance is generated. So when I chose to include closing period adjustments and closing transaction in balances, these two columns were generated. So the same way I can choose to display or to remove any columns based on an individual preference. So this is with our trial balance. So we will now go into the financial statements. So to get into the financial statements, I will navigate into the consolidations module and into financial reports. To the left of the screen, I can see the list of the default formats which are available in Dynamics 365. And this shows the formats for all the entities which are there in Dynamics 365. So what I can do to start with is I can use the default um, formats to view my financial reporting. So for example, if I want a balance sheet default, I can choose the format and I can click on view. This will give me the current view of the financial report, which is the balance sheet. So from this financial report, I can publish, that is, I can save or I can export it into Excel and make my own changes. For example, I can do my own analysis using a pivot table, or I can print and I can give the destination to which it needs to be printed and click on print. So these are the options that I get when I generate a financial report. And furthermore, when we get into the amounts which are there in the financial report, when it's highlighted in blue, it means that we can drill down further. So if I choose the 2016 amount, which is against cash, current asset, and I click on cash, I can see that it gives me a list of um, cash transactions based on my uh, financial dimension set. In the same way, if I get into accounts receivable, into the numbers of accounts receivable, I can see that the accounts receivable number is split based on the financial dimension set, which we have uh, configured in Dynamics 365. So the same way, like the balance sheet, we can even generate cash flow statements, we can generate income statement, trial balance, flux reports, and so on the ratios. So this is with financial reporting in Dynamics 365.